Our world is soaring toward 2012. Time is speeding up. Chaos is shifting into a new level, and we feel the pull to unlock the mysteries of the universe. Timeless spiritual wisdom offers the point of stability to navigate these times and to open our greatest potential. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the fun and knowledge of visionary best-selling authors Shri and Kira as they explore these mysteries and invite your higher love to come forward. And now, here are Shri and Kira.
Namaste. I am wisdom teacher Sri Ram Ka.
Namaste, beloved ones. I am Kira Ra, and welcome to a very, I hope not too controversial show. Tonight we're discussing the new normal. Hey, who's defining you? And really, Shri, that's what we're here to talk about. Is seems to be this rising tide, or this sense, or this feeling amongst many people worldwide that there's this growing division, that there's this growing sense of judgment, this growing lack of intolerance. You know, we've made so many strides over so many years, and yet in the moment, it's starting to feel as if that might be slipping back. You think that's true? That's what we're here to discuss.
Well, normal itself is a nasty word.
You know, it so is. It so is. It's so true.
It's
such a limiting word, isn't it?
It's a limiting word that is supposed to describe the bulk of, you know, what normal, what...
you know what it is. It's an agreed upon status quo.
Yes.
That feels good for the moment in history that you're inserted. Because certainly what was normal 200 years ago, what was normal 100 years ago, what was
or
normal
50 years ago.
Exactly, is certainly not normal now. But the bigger question, the question that comes forward is, why do we resist our shift? You know, what happens? Why have we evolved, but yet when you're living through the moment of the evolution, it's a gentle and sometimes a not so gentle moment.
Well, I think that what our perceptions as a whole, meaning the mass media's painting of what is normal or what is going on, is distorted and tilted to the point that people do not know what is normal unless you really look deeply. And then the question comes up, is that the normal that I want? Because you have a choice. You don't have to be that normal. You can be a normal that's good for you.
Well, I'm giggling, Shri, because, you know, we have a course out called Ascended Sanity. It's a really quick, easy, home study kind of course. But, you know, one of the greater gifts of that course, the Ascended Sanity program, is we invite you to the recognition that there is a sanity for kind of the density or the lower realm world of what would be considered normal. And then there is the ascended sanity when you give yourself the gift of kind of breaking through to the other side. But it's that tug of war, you know, that tug of war that can be internal, it can be external, of moving and freeing yourself. You know, I think for a lot of people it's coming out of the closet, or for a lot of people it's, you know, doing something they've always wanted to do, letting go of a paradigm and trusting your dreams in the face of those that tell you that you can't live your dreams. That's bogus. Of course you can. The question is allowing yourself the freedom to do so, to break the normal mold.
That's right. And, you know, so one of the normals that has recently come up on our screen is one of the fast food restaurant Happy Meals, so to speak.
You know, you guys know we're talking about Chick-fil-A.
You know, it just stuns and amazes me at times when a group of people can decide whether a cartoon character or a puppet has sexual characteristics.
Well, but here's what's interesting is that it's the puppet people that have made the decision. Well, and this is what's so powerful.
This is when you look into the facts rather than the glossy media.
Exactly.
And so the glossy media is recently saying that the Muppet...
Well, here's what happened is that Chick-fil-A posted signs in their stores that said that they were no longer going to be carrying these Muppet characters because they were defective, because children were getting harmed by them. And so they were coming out as, you know, the protectors of the kids. Well, lovely, however, the truth, the true story is that it was actually the Jim Henson Company that pulled the plug on supplying these toys because of the extraordinary anti-gay stance that's coming out of this corporation.
And so there's this homophobic stance coming from the corporation that is supported by certain fundamentalist Christian
Well, the president.
groups.
The president.
And
The
so
president of Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
And so one of the things we've observed in the United States media is there is an association between financial conservatism and fundamentalist religious beliefs. The two are getting melded together. And so when a person talks about conservative values, there's an assumption also that seems to be propagated that this means a regressive stance towards social programs.
Fascinating.
A regressive stance toward inclusivity.
Yeah.
And what's really happening is beyond our true understanding, because our news media is showing us slices of polarization, is showing us slices of head-to-head conflict between one set of values and another set of values. And this conflict promotes an unrest, a disrest.
You know, it does, and yet, one of the things that we really want to assist you to grow with us on this show today, and then we're really going to get into in the second half, is the fact that all of this, everything that we're witnessing, and we have tons to share with you about what we're witnessing, is because there is a rise in energy on the planet. There is an intensity on the planet. There is a momentum on the planet, and every single being on the planet is being affected by it. Now, that can be a wonderful thing, or it can be a terrifying thing, because no matter what, you're going to be affected by this intensity. So you can either choose to harness the intensity, and as I mentioned earlier, live the life of your dreams, but it means you're going to have to buck the rising tide of the intensity that may want to pull you away from your dreams. And, you know, there's a lot of that rising tide, yet there's so many hard facts that show that if you stay the course, if you allow the gift of you, you know, who's determining you, right? The new normal. Who's determining who you are? If we can get back to the recognition that you are the sole determiner of your beingness, that you have that right and that blessing, then we can ride this tide into the, quote, new normal without all of the fanfare, without all of the pain of the push and the pull and the tug. And, you know, I feel like the doctor, was it Dr. Seuss, the push me pull you?
Push me pull you?
Yeah, you know, the push me pull. I don't think it was
No,
Dr. Seuss.
that's the other one.
Yeah, but that there was the push me pull you, and I just remember that because that's really what we're in. We're in this giant push me pull you moment.
The push me pull you actually has been going on since it all began.
Yeah, for sure.
However, what seems to be rising right now is an energy that is activating unresolved issues in the human psyche.
Ancient unresolved issues.
Ancient indeed. There's a lot of fear. People talk about fear, and the fear coalesces around a topic, a subject, an object. And then as this energy rises on the planet, this global upliftment opportunity, it is also lifting up the fear to be healed.
You know, it really is, Sri. And it's really much an energy. We're talking about masculine versus feminine energy. And one of the things that I think is so fascinating here is, you know, when we talk about the rise right now, there seems to be this strange homophobic thing going on. But I look at, okay, the Girl Scouts is actually a gay-friendly corporation. Yet, just last week, the Boy Scouts came out and said, no. And it just blows my mind because these organizations are supposed to be similarly oriented for both women and or girls and boys, yet one organization has created this open-minded, and it's fascinating to me that it's the feminine energy, whereas the organization that's carrying this masculine energy is saying no. I find that so, without any judgment about the organizations, I find that so symbolic. The planet is seeking a new balance of feminine, masculine energy.
It is. And you know, one thing we need to remind you is that the last place change really anchors is in the mass consciousness.
Exactly.
It always starts off in the fringes. It starts off outside the bell curve a little bit, and it begins to create a harmony. So, for example, in the United States, we went through so many periods of antagonism, whether it was racial or environmental. I remember as a young boy, my mother talking about a broken family.
Yes, I remember that very much so.
A broken family.
And the stigma, it was like the hushed tones.
Oh, yeah.
Very much
the
hushed
whole
tones.
idea of divorce was taboo.
Or much less, oh, you got pregnant and you weren't married.
Oh,
whoa.
Oh boy.
Yeah,
You know. So I went and I looked at a couple statistics because I want to share these with you as to what's really going on versus what some media would like you to believe. 1/4 to 1/3 of all families in the world are headed by single mothers.
Now, take that in, guys. That's a global statistic. 1/4 to 1/3 of the world's families, not just one country.
In the United States, as a country, it's 34% in 1998. So
wow, I bet that has skyrocketed since then, Sri.
So single-parent family, the broken family, is actually a huge influence in our whole mix. 1/3 of all the families are single-parent. And so as we look at the effect of that, that is rippling into our normal and creating an energetic balance
Indeed.
that may or may not be accepted by a different third.
And how many of you right now were either raised in a single-parent family or a family where there was a divorced parent? How many of you have also had, the situation whereby you might have known an interracial family, right? I remember that as a child. I remember dealing with a lot of that.
Well, I've got a statistic for that.
Okay.
According to a Pew Center report in 2010, 15% of all new marriages in the USA are interracial.
Woohoo! And, I mean, no, seriously, because I remember growing up as a child dealing with that issue in a very negative way. It was a very,
Guess
very,
who's Hi,
hello, this is one of our dogs, both of them are here, so this is a family event today. And so dealing with that issue of what is going on with our planet, think about how now there is such a greater gift in that. And of course, Sri, it brings us now to gay marriage, which is the hot topic now.
Right. And what we're seeing, and the point we're trying to get across, is that the new normal truly is something that is changing, it's self-revelatory, and it demands a sense of an open heart.
Yes.
Because we are all created from the fabric of love.
Indeed.
We are all created of the stuff of life.
And this is where we're going. We're all created from this fabric. We're all created that way. And what is happening on our planet right now that is making us seem to almost look in the other direction? When we come back from the break, we're going to talk about what is the new normal. We're actually going to talk about the TV show that's coming out in September. We're going to discuss where it is we need to break through, because who is determining you? That's the question, and we've got a lot more show to go. Stay with us.
We'll be right back.
Namaste, beloved one. This is Kira Ra, and I am inviting you to take a journey of the soul in the land of the heart. Imagine your life free from chaos and filled with creative clarity. Imagine waking up each day in your private lakefront casita, greeted by brilliant sun, flowers, and birds. It is here that you will effortlessly resurrect your divine blueprint in pristine energy. Yes, I am inviting you to join us for a personal resurrection vacation retreat at beautiful Lake Atatlan, Guatemala. Here, you can rejuvenate your life as you indulge in Tosa spa cuisine, private healing sessions, yoga, tai chi, meditation, and loving support. Imagine enjoying pure air, zero noise pollution, and endless stars in this ascended nirvana. The time is now to claim your true joy. Learn more by visiting shriandkira.com and just click on the Resurrection Vacation Treat page. Tosa La Laguna, healing lives, healing hearts. We welcome you home.
Welcome back. We're glad you're with us.
We sure are. And we've been discussing what is the new normal and who's defining you. And Shri, we're talking a lot about love, about the experience of love, about the rising polarity and the rebalancing of masculine and feminine energy on the planet, and how that's finding kind of all these heat-seeking missiles, so to speak, of exploration.
Absolutely. And one of the things we touched on in the first half of the show was the rise in new conventions, the rise in interracial marriages, the rise in single parent families.
And the rise in the acceptance of this. You know,
Exactly.
even in our lifetime, we've seen this go from zero tolerance to widely accepted and happening all the time.
And so what we're postulating here is that there is a natural emergence. There is a natural balance that is seeking to emerge through human population, through human actions, and through the natural world.
And there is the natural resistance to the expansion. You know, we killed Socrates. Remember that? Humanity said, hey, too much wisdom for me.
Yeah.
You know,
This was the guy that said, do no harm.
exactly. And it's like, okay, take this hemlock. And, you know, along with many others, it seems that humanity is so afraid of movement, is so afraid of shift, that it takes a great upswell of those who are in the process of the shift to step into their power, to step into their heart, to step into the balance of their masculine, feminine energy, to come forward and say, enough. You know, same thing I think about Galileo. Right? Because the Bible had said, right, that the earth was the center of the universe, well then Galileo had to be the devil, right? He had to be this extraordinary heretic to say, excuse me, scientifically proven it's the other way around.
And there's tons of examples, everything from the world is flat
Exactly.
and Christopher Columbus to breaking the 4-minute mile on the sprint. We live in a world that is constantly shifting boundaries.
And yet, we're threatened by it. You know, I just need to jump in because, of course, the first female astronaut in the United States, Sally Ride, just recently passed away. And you talk about breaking boundaries. So here was this amazingly talented, educated, wise woman who did so much for the United States, was incredibly heralded, you know.
A real leader.
A real leader. And yet, she had to keep her life so private. She just, you know, stayed in her little groove, never allowed any fanfare around her. And of course, in her obituary, we read that she had this beautiful 27-year relationship, a partner that she left behind. And we discover in her passing that in that time that it was a lesbian relationship. And how sad that we could accept the heroism in the one aspect, but that she had to live at a time where everything else had to be kept so quiet because of that inability to grow. And I pray that maybe in her passing there is a greater gift, a greater growth.
Each and every one of us grows through our fears. Each and every one of us grows through the fear of secrets, the fear of being different in some fashion. And this is truly the test of a society, is the ability to be inclusive, to allow people to grow through their experiences, not to judge that you should stop at this point. Because at what point is a soul complete with their journey?
What a great question.
It's
Great
not
question,
up to
Trey.
you, it's up to that individual soul.
Indeed.
And so we each have a fabulous journey, and whether we're expressing in a feminine form or a male form, whether we're expressing in a, quote, normal relationship or a different relationship, that isn't the question.
It isn't at all.
The question is there love?
Exactly. You know, and this is what I really enjoy. If you have not, and Sri and I don't even watch TV, we'll probably never see the show because we don't own a TV. However, if you go to the internet right now and go watch the trailer for this TV show on NBC that's premiering in September called The New Normal. I watched this trailer at the advice of a friend of mine who said, Kira, you know, you guys really should look at this, and this is what you guys are always talking about as far as people shifting their paradigms. Well, what I found was in this sitcom, I found intelligent dialogue, bringing up powerful questions and handling them in a really responsible and entertaining way. There was nothing intimidating about this show except for those who choose to be intimidated by love. And it's a fascinating thing that this show that has not even premiered yet has already got this huge momentum of those trying to block it from ever airing. So what's threatening them? You know, if you go beyond this means of we must remain one way, well, that's not what life is about. You know, we as human beings, we are constantly evolving. We are constantly changing. We are not meant to be stagnant. We are not meant to go backwards. And that's more than any kind of a metaphysical argument. Scientifically, we are cellular. We regenerate. We expand. We shift. That is our divine imperative. And then, of course, if we infuse that with light, we are constantly expanding. So to be threatened by that is to say, I am threatened by the very existence of the expansion of humanity.
Well, it's also saying I'm disconnected.
Exactly.
That my consciousness has disconnected from the fundamental truth of the essence of what a soul is, of what humanity or light or life truly is we all find our way. You know, it just strikes me as so amazing that a group of people would decide that puppets would be gay based upon their color, or their jokes.
Well, you know, you got the interspecies thing there with Kermit and Miss Piggy.
Or Kermit and Miss Piggy. You know, how many children, we pick up our puppets and we play, the doggy plays with the Barbie,
whatever,
you know, or whatever. There is no innuendo here. There is simply the expression of delight, of playfulness.
And what there is, Shri, is the seeking of the balance. You know, when Shri and I, our very, very first book, Sacred Union, The Journey Home, I really encourage you to read it. This is a perennial classic. It's been reprinted many, many, many times. But in Sacred Union, The Journey Home, our beloved Archangel Zadkiel said so clearly that we were living in a moment where the earth herself was calling out to its inhabitants and saying, please balance yourselves. And that love and marriage and relationship was not about a man and a woman. It was about a balance of energy. And that in the partnership that you seek to find, as long as the two of you are balancing each other's energy, are offering each other a gift of expanding your heart, then that is of the angelic realm. And my heart hurts and my heart is heavy at times when the human piece of me knows that there are people that would find that absolutely horrific to hear. That the reality is our physical form is a way that our soul navigates, but our heart is the truth of who we are. And to really come back into our heart, to recognize the profound gift of love, is to recognize the essence of who we are, and to not let ourselves be defined by external means, but to be defined by our universal knowing.
And so we invite you to redefine what it means to be fundamental, to return to a foundational essence.
Exactly.
This is not a dogmatic concept. This is not a construct. This is an essence. Our fundamental essence is love, and love mends separation. Love is inclusive. Love is nurturing. Love is the essential energy that allows all the discord to dance.
And to love from an empowered state, not a disempowered state. When we hide who we are, let's say that you say, well, I can't be metaphysical around the people around me. Okay, so you're hiding who you are. But your presence can offer that gift. Remember, your words don't need to say anything. Maybe you're a gay individual who needs to feel that you can't come out. Well, then you're hiding and suppressing the gift of who you are. Again, let your presence just live in your own peace and harmony. Whatever it is, your spiritual life, your personal life, your professional life, when you hide, you actually feed the energy that seeks to abandon the gift of the movement, the gift of the expansion. Now, we're not advocating for you to go out and be activistic in any way.
Sometimes it isn't wise.
Exactly.
Sometimes coming out is actually taking a risk that is not appropriate at that given time.
In that moment.
Or that moment in society. However, it is essential, we believe, that you honor who you are.
Exactly.
And trust the essence of who you are and celebrate it in a way that is safe and wise for you.
And if you're in a situation where you can't feel comfortable in your own skin, then steps you can take to feel comfortable in your own skin are to, number one, decide who your friends really are. Choose wisely, use your discernment, express yourself creatively in ways that bring you joy. Avoid getting depressed by watching news and these awful things in the media that seek to keep you feeling less than about yourself. Go out and enjoy nature. Breathe in. Read books that enlighten you. Give yourself the gift of knowing that there is a much greater gift ahead for all of humanity. What's happening on our planet right now is temporary, and if history proves anything, it proves that. It proves that we will make it through this dark night. We will.
Things will change.
And yes, you know, I appreciate by even saying the dark night that a lot of you might have immediately gone to what happened in Aurora. Even that is a horrific incident that's signaling the need to rebalance our society, to call all of us back into the truth of who we are. Allow yourself the gift of knowing that it is your presence that will shift society. You determine who you are, and who you surround yourself with and how you live your life affects others. So allow yourself the gift of being the joy-filled person that you are, and to wade through this moment without having to be whipsawed by it.
And one of the ways you can do that is to be mindful of where you place your attention.
Always.
If you are surrounded by the public broadcast news, you know, the television in every room with the news networks blasting at you, your consciousness is being manipulated by a select few.
You know, it really is, beloved ones.
If you are searching out your news on the internet, you've moved one step forward in that you're selecting what you look at. However, there's still an opportunity for manipulation, for distortion. So therefore, it's essential that each of us cultivate that prophecy barometer, that truth barometer, the sense of, when I read this, am I able to sustain a sense of self, a sense of joy, a sense of self-acceptance? Because as I approach my world, this essential harmony is my gift to the world.
And as our world comes forward, it will seek more balance.
It will, and each and every one of us will contribute. And so we invite you to be aware of where you place your energy, because what you focus on becomes what you love.
If you want a new normal, create it and let it be amazing. And until we have the gift of sharing sacred time with you again, may you bring your hand to your heart, may you take a deep, deep cleansing breath, and may you know that all is truly well. Namaste.
Thank you for joining us today for 2012 Higher Love. Remember that you can find out more about Sri and Kira by going to sriandkira.com. That's SRIANDKIRA.com.